red on our weather impact.
Yeah, it's a busy week.
Alert graphic. Yeah, we got a lot going on today. Fortunately, it doesn't like any severe weather, any dangerous weather as far as thunderstorms, tornadoes, nothing like that. I do think we'll have some thunderstorms, a couple close to midnight tonight. And we're going to have some really cold air for Thursday night into Friday morning, but we'll get to that. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins.
And I'm Meteorologist Colleen Campbell.
And welcome to Weather Impact Live. It's 4:32 on our Wednesday afternoon. And of course, you see that we have our weather impact for you. And what that is our way here at 10 Tampa Bay of kind of giving you a heads up of when there's inconvenient, impactful weather, all right? A lot of times, especially this time of year, it's smooth sailing. We like that. But that's not the case now. We've got some rain out there now already. We'll have more overnight tonight, and I think around midnight, 1 in the morning, we'll have a good line of showers and a couple thunderstorms coming through the area. That's our best.
I was going to say, that's
chance.
the best time for rain to have, not a lot of people are out on the roadway. Besides
well, I mean, you'll be up partying still, but other than that, I mean.
Well, and our morning batch, she'll be on the way here probably, but,
true.
For everybody else.
So it's nice to have when you get there, because we need the rain, right? But it's nice to get it overnight. It doesn't affect as much. But there are some showers out there now. It will affect the evening commute a little bit. And then tomorrow morning's commute, I think most of the rain is before the better part of the commute, but there will still be some showers around.
Right.
All right. And then tomorrow stays in the 50s because we will see sunshine by lunchtime tomorrow.
Right.
But it will be chilly, and it will be actually falling through the 50s into the 40s by the early evening hours. So that's the cold air coming in place. So let's start with the rain that's out there now. And in fact, it's just starting to get there. Pasco, we had a round earlier through Hernando, even Citrus County. And you can see the second round is now getting to Hudson and Newport Richey. Tarpon Springs now seeing the rain. And you can see it extends off to the south and the west further offshore. But here's what I'm looking for. But let's get in here a little bit closer here. You can see that we've got just light rainfall more than anything else. That is it. Here's the radar. It's pushing to the north and the east. The yellows you see in there, a few heavier downpours.
Yeah, and a lot of that within the hour just moving over I-75. So it'd be better if we could dry out because, those folks coming home but that's the whole point of these weather impact alerts. So you guys have a heads up ahead of time and,
That's right. And then tomorrow morning, and we'll show you this coming up, I think a lot of it, or what's left of it, let's put it that way, is going to be here in western Manatee and Sarasota County. So that 75 corridor tomorrow morning is one that we'll watch. But right now, obviously, it's Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus, and then we get here into Pinellas and Hillsborough, starting to see some rain up there near, we've got East Lake Woodlands, just about seeing the rainfall. It's over towards the park there, going all the way down to the beaches now. And in fact, we head out towards... let's go out to the beach. Always show you the beach, but now it's going to be a little on the soggy side out there. Just starting to see the rain. That'll be coming in from the right-hand side of the screen right there. Let's take you out to Tampa downtown. It's cloudy right now, but it's not dry, right?
Yeah.
Dry at least right there. And then let's go up to the airport because I think we were looking off to the north and the west. Or you know what? I changed the ascent camera. Let's look at this. That you can actually see the rain coming in here.
Yeah.
See that on the right-hand side especially? That is it. And it should be continuing to push into the area as we go through the rest of the evening hours. So there it is now. Let's go further down to the south. You can see it hasn't gotten quite down to St. Pete Beach yet, but it was not far away. It is thinning out as it comes through, and there's no severe weather. There's not even a thunderstorm in the mix at this particular point. But it is something that we're going to have to keep a watch on. Now, that's the rain. The rain will come through and then be tapering off mid-morning tomorrow, and then the cold air. And this is... these are freeze watches. Yeah,
and it extends fairly far south. I think this is the furthest south that we've seen.
That is amazing, isn't it? That is wild. Lake Okeechobee. There are freeze warnings that extend south of there. Now, if you notice, if you get here a little bit closer, you're going to notice the areas right along the immediate coast from Pinellas southward do not have it. But, you get into central, anywhere, I'd say right along this line right in here, you've got a really good chance of seeing freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
All right, and you get up into this area up in here, which is Hernando and Citrus County, we're talking hard freeze. Now, we've had this, I think this is going to be the coldest we had so far this season.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you didn't protect plants before, you were kind of on the fence, you have to do it tonight if you're in any of those areas. For instance, I'm right in this area right in here. I'm very close. I don't think I just got one little tree I have to do. It's kind of a bigger tree, so I'm not going to do too much with it. But you know what I did? I got my sprinklers set to turn on at about 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
it takes
that could
a while.
be a problem. Yeah.
But, well, no, I want it to. It'll freeze over the grass. It'll freeze over something, and the water coming out of the ground is actually warmer, and actually warms the atmosphere up a little bit.
Okay.
To keep it saturated. Now you can run the risk of doing evaporative cooling.
Yeah.
But I think when you keep spraying, you're going to have enough moisture there. Plant City, strawberry growers, Polk County. They will be busy the next 48 hours because they're going to have to do all the things that they do for tomorrow evening into Friday morning. Because this area from Plant City here out into Eastern Hillsborough, obviously Western Polk County, a lot of those farms out in here, those areas are going to be at or below freezing. In fact, I'll show you some numbers coming up here. I'm thinking anywhere from about 28 to 30, maybe 31 degrees, but certainly below freezing.
Yeah.
There's
those coastal areas, they're also getting that influence of the water temperature too, which is actually helping them out in this case.
Yep.
Whereas over land, they don't really have that influence.
And we'll have a little bit of a northwest wind, at least initially, and so that will help as well coming off the water. The water will be in the mid to upper 60s, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
is
very
wild
wild to have it that far to the south. The actual air temperatures, and we'll show you this coming up, this area all in here likely below freezing, okay? It's going to be kind of iffy on the outskirts here. But you get over into portions of Fort Lauderdale down into Miami, how about 42 to 46 degrees?
That's definitely going to be their coldest air this
Yes.
season. Yeah.
And that's iguanas falling out. I mean, anywhere 45 to 50, the iguanas are really slowing down. They're hurting bad. But you get close to 45 degrees and they're starting to fall out of trees and getting cold stunned. So there's how far it dips to the south. You can see that there. This is what's coming, okay? And then watch as we get into Friday morning. There it is over us. That's that cold air. Now Saturday starts chilly, but we warm up a little bit. And then Sunday night, we have another one coming through, and that's Monday morning. Sunday into Monday morning is going to be cold.
Yeah, Saturday, those upper level winds are coming in more so from the southwest. So that's helping us out a little bit. And we have sunnier skies. But then, yeah, we're right back to it on Monday and Tuesday. So
look at that. Let's back up a little bit because this is Monday. Let's go up to Friday, which is our coldest, which is right here. You can see that light blue getting right down to the state line, Georgia, Florida, okay? Let's go back out to the next one. Where's that light blue? So figuratively, you could say that Sunday night and Monday may be colder.
Yeah.
We may end up getting in that position. We'll see, especially since we're cooling things down now. The air's kind of cold. It'll cool the water down even more. So the second one may make it even colder. Right now, I think we've got 36 Friday morning and 38 Monday morning. That's ballpark, and that 38 may come down because that's a pretty good dip right there. And then you look at the next one. That's into Tuesday of next week, and you notice where the light blue is? It's up over South Carolina versus almost to Tampa, all right? So, yes, that's extremely cold air across the Great Lakes in the Northeast. That is Arctic, pure Arctic air right there.
Yeah. I always think it's funny how patterns repeat themselves because you remember this time last year, actually it was closer to February, we had the snow that was in portions of Florida.
Yep.
So, it's funny to look back on data and just see how patterns repeat themselves. We're about a month off, and of course we're not expecting snow, but very similar here where we have this cold snap and just rounds of this polar air that's plunging into our area.
Yeah. Let's, you know what? We're getting ready to take a break here. I want to show you this graphic before we go. This is the European forecast for snow. Watch what happens Friday and Saturday. Look down to the south, see what we see. Oh, what is that? See that? Saturday night into Sunday in the panhandle of Florida. And then potentially a coastal storm moving up through the Carolinas. It's come back on it a lot. It looked like it was a little bit today, but I think, Panama City Beach, do they get snow? That's tough. It's not going to be like we saw last year, 10 inches of snow out there. But the areas in the western panhandle along the northern part, they certainly could get a little bit of snow out of this. So we'll see. That's going to flip-flop a little bit. We'll talk about that when we come back. And we're going to take a look at the 7-day forecast, and we're going to look at how long the cold lasts because there's some warmer air not too far away.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
We were just talking about some snow and some cold, right? Well, take a look at this video across the Midwest this morning. The videos are from Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan. Wow, wintry wonderlands out there. Is that an airport? Looks like it. And some whipping winds. Yeah, that snow has been falling across the Midwest. We also have a live look from Detroit, Michigan. Oh, we got a little pet rolling around in snow. Cute. And that's live right now in Detroit. It's actually from the Canadian border. You see the Canadian flag.
Over into the United States on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so Canadian flag is out there blowing around, windy. And also, Bobby, I'm curious what that water temperature is because it looks like they have some...
32.1.
Yeah, it looks like now freezing fog is a thing.
It's got to be just above the freezing temperature right there. I'm surprised. It may even be a little bit on the frozen side. It doesn't look like it, though, to be honest with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple times when I lived up north, got stuck with flights and freezing fog. Which, that's brutal because that takes a long time to mix out. But yeah, so that's a live look right now. Nice little dusting on the grass there. Looks like folks are getting along on the road pretty slowly. And yeah, now, of course, we were talking about snow across the country. We're not really looking at that here. Some of the models earlier on were pretty ambitious at trying to bring snow to the Panhandle.
Yeah.
But,
take a look at this on Weather One. With the cold air coming in, I know a lot of the lakes are frozen already up there, but there's still lake effect snow that's coming through. There's still a little clipper system coming through. But when you get cold air, it's enough to bring some snow, to bring the moisture out off of the lake and then drop the lake effect snow. And so that's what's going to be happening. Look at east of Toronto. Look at western New York. I mean, some places there are going to get nailed, right? That is through Friday. And then you see how it's starting to fill in a little bit. Now let's jump down here because the cold air will be in place, and then there's moisture that's going to come in from the south and the west. Watch the Panhandle here as we get into Saturday night into Sunday. Now, and this is just one run, but that's saying snow in Savannah, Valdosta, and over towards Panama City.
Yeah. Now this is a European, right?
This is the European forecast model, which is the European is one of the best ones.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Now I looked at one before we came on air today. It's called the NBM. Mm-hmm. It's a blend of models, kind of massaged a little bit, and that's actually usually a pretty good one as well too. Mm-hmm. It says that it thinks that most of the snow. Let me back this up here for a second. Most of the snow is going to be up in this area, maybe in here. And it's not a lot of it. It's not 10 inches like we saw here last year.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
But that is a little trace of snow possible for some parts of this area. So keep that in mind. Again, that's Saturday night into Sunday morning that we'll be looking at that. All right? Now, let's take you live outside. Again, we were watching for this rain to come in, and you can see we're in the mid-60s. If you like those temperatures, enjoy them. They're going away. All right? It is going to get chilly. So here's the forecast for tonight. This is our weather impact alert. You can see that's why it's all red there, but we kind of stay in the low 60s through the evening hours, and then really not until about 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow morning do we start to even drop down in the upper 50s.
Right.
All right. But that means we're going to see some fog. We're going to see some passing showers. This area right here in the middle, right here where you see that, I think that's our best chance for the rain.
Yeah.
That's
shortly
around
after
1 in the
midnight.
morning tonight, okay? And there'll be a couple thunderstorms in the mix. I don't expect any severe weather. We'll keep an eye on it for you. And then there'll be a little bit of fog and low clouds before it starts to work its way out. But it's not out of here in the first thing in the morning. So 7 a.m., there's some lingering showers. And then by 11 a.m., I still think 1 or 2, especially south of Tampa, say southern Pinellas, Manatee, Sarasota County. That's what this point is right about here. But then look how we clear out in the afternoon. We get lots of sunshine, and look at the temperatures. As the sun comes out, the temps go down because of this wind. And that is a steady wind forecast of 15 to almost 20 miles per hour. So we're going 15 to 25 with higher gusts.
I was going to say gusts up to 30, definitely.
Especially along the beaches, right? Because we have northwest winds tomorrow. So there's nothing to slow it down. It's coming right over the Gulf. It's starting now. Again, no severe weather. That's the good news, but certainly some active weather. So here are the forecast high temperatures for Thursday. And most of those numbers are likely, maybe even before the sun comes up. Right? Because most of the afternoon is going to be falling through the 50s and even in the 40s by the early evening hours. Here's the boating forecast, and this is the forecast model. A lot of times when you see this, it goes by kind of quick, but I wanted to stop and show you what it looks like at about 10 in the morning. Look at that wind, especially getting, so 9, 10 in the morning, the wind's really going to pick up. Look at it by 1 o'clock, and look at over the bay. I mean, that is rough. It's, in fact, we're thinking very rough out over the bay. Small craft advisories, of course. But then by about 6 o'clock, the wind's coming down a little bit. Still going to be very windy, breezy, if you will. And then things actually start to taper off. And then I think we're actually looking pretty good as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So
definitely a
tomorrow
rocky
evening.
start.
Tomorrow evening into Friday. Friday's when we have it. But Friday's going to be cold all day. So boating, I mean, if you have to go out, you have to go out. But you don't want to go out tomorrow. Okay, 4:50, just about. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
Right, live look at Dunedin.
The
Bobby,
Fenway.
Yes, I was just saying to Bobby, we were looking at this place for my wedding, but change of plans.
But you didn't
Still
pick
beautiful.
it. But look, if you on the left hand, if you've never been out to the Fenway, that's that old hotel. They turned it. It's still a hotel, but it's a restaurant. That's a bar on the left-hand side. It's an outdoor bar. It's covered, obviously, but it's incredible down there. And they do lots of like old car shows, like 30s and 40s, and like flappers and whatever, all those dresses, whatever it is. Really cool. I love it down there. Go check that out if you get a chance. But you can see the clouds are starting to thicken up a little bit out there, and it'll be raining there pretty soon.
Yeah, you know who got married there? Our former reporter, Aaron Parsegian.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, him and his wife. Yeah, so He has
Great
pretty
place.
pictures,
Great
yeah.
place to do that. And you know, they didn't pay us to say that either. That's amazing.
No, they didn't.
It just was
So
a
you're
great
welcome.
place. Yeah. So let's take a look at the radar for. I want to show you the graph here. This is our local forecast model for us here. So let's go through some of the timing. This is tonight around 11 o'clock. So some scattered showers this evening. All right, they're already out there. They'll move a little bit further towards Tampa and southward through the next several hours. But another line gets in here after 11 o'clock to midnight, and that right there is 12:30 in the morning. Okay.
And those are the areas that really could use it. Those areas south of I-4, I mean, let it rain.
Let it rain, right. And that's a couple of thunderstorms if this comes to fruition, right? That red you see in there, the orange. But then that line comes through pretty quickly, and by 3 a.m., we're actually starting to dry a little bit north and west of Tampa. But then we still, and this is the issue, this is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The bus stop's not going to be a major issue, but look, it is going to be cold tomorrow morning, like 50s. It's not bad, but windy.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be cold and windy, and there's still going to be some dampness out there. There's still going to be some sprinkles. So tomorrow morning, it's like, it's, you know. And then tomorrow afternoon, it dries out, and we get some sunshine. That's around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But then it just gets downright chilly.
Yeah,
all right?
you can see those winds speeding up, too.
And then you can see our next chance for rain is going to be on Sunday at about 30%. Let me show you the forecast.